produced farm radio show with agricultural news, information, interviews, in-depth weather, and more. It's Terry Henne and his Farm Show on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com.
A mostly cloudy good morning to you. I hope your day is going well for you, wherever you might be. I say mostly cloudy because that's what it is here at Radio Center. Terry Henne along with Matthew Lester. But in other spots, we're looking at some sun. It's one of those days where northern Michigan getting a little bit more in the way of precipitation. Southern Michigan waiting for some precipitation. There are some folks out there that are looking for some rain. It does appear as though your wish will be our command as we go into the afternoon and the evening hours, especially in the Great Lakes Bay area, a little bit better coverage about 2, 3 o'clock this afternoon. And then it's going to be one of those on again, off again shower patterns that we're going to have to work with. All of it a function of a couple of frontal systems. The first cold front is going to be moving through here later this afternoon. So in advance of that, that's why we're going to be seeing some shower activity around. And as I said right now, northern Michigan is getting a little bit more in the way of precipitation. Some heavy downpours in the western part of the Upper Peninsula. All that activity is kind of thinned out now, so it's not nearly as intense as what it was. But a good part of the UP has had some form of precipitation over the last 12 hours, and it will continue as, again, we go through the day and into the evening hours. Strips of precipitation in the west central part of the Lower Peninsula. That's what we're seeing as of right now. We're also seeing some shower activity in Illinois. All that is going to be moving into the Great Lakes Bay area, as I said, about mid-late afternoon. And then tonight, we are going to be looking at that front finally moving through probably about 6:30. And after that, the shower activity will kind of spread out a little bit and thin out a little bit. So not nearly as intense in coverage is what we will see mid to late afternoon this afternoon. Warm start to the day. Matthew, what are we looking at as far as our temperatures right now?
Currently, over at the airport, it's partly sunny at 77. Over in Midland, it's cloudy at 78. Here at Radio Center, it's mostly cloudy at 75. We have south winds at 13 miles per hour, and our pressure's at 29.62, and it's falling.
Yep, 29.62, and it will continue to drop. Again, all of that a function of how close the low is to us as of right now. That low is going to be moving up into Canada, and eventually it's going to get up to right around Hudson Bay, just to the south of Hudson Bay, and it's going to sit there. So what we will be seeing is one upper air cold front after another moving its way across the lakes over the next few days. That's why there is going to be a rather consistent pattern of clouds and some spotty shower activity as we go through the remainder of the work week and into the weekend. Along with that is going to come some cooler air. My guess is we're about as warm as we're going to get. I think we've come pretty close to reaching our high for the day here before lunchtime. It'll probably hold, maybe work its way up another degree or two, but that's going to be about it. We're looking for a low tonight of 61. We'll have sunset at 9:14. I think you might see it tonight. A sunrise tomorrow morning at 5:56. That's how thin the cloud cover is going to get as we get into the evening hours, because eventually those clouds will be thinning out. And I think some of you will see a sunset tonight. 61 for a low. Tomorrow morning sunrise, 5:56. We'll have some sun. We'll have some clouds. And then once again, about 2, 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, the chances of precipitation will increase as we go into the afternoon hours and then break down by tomorrow night. High temperature 72, low temperature 55 tomorrow. Friday, more of the same. Sun, some clouds, definitely cooler. 66 for a high on Friday, 54 for a low on Friday night. Again, Clouds will thin out after a chance of some precipitation and then thin out Friday night. Saturday, we'll start off with some sun, partly cloudy skies, a little bit warmer, 70 for a high on Saturday, but about 2, 3 o'clock Saturday afternoon, what it looks like right now, a chance of some precipitation again, moving into the evening hours, dissipating, breaking down. And guess what? Sunday, a carbon copy. We'll start off with sun, 72. Chance of some showers going into the afternoon. But then Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday of next week, we're going to see a little bit of a breakdown of that pattern. Not going to have the chances of precipitation like we will see for the next few days. Temperature ranging through the upcoming weekend, slightly below normal for this time of the year, but then averaging out as we move into that weekend, Father's Day weekend. Normal as far as the precipitation goes all the way through the period. Some of you could pick up more than 3/4 of an inch of rain out of these systems that is going to be moving through. But at this stage, the overall is a lot closer to maybe a half an inch. So again, some areas, it all depends. If you get a thunderstorm, you'll get heavier amounts of rain. More on the weather as we go through the broadcast. Standing by on this busy Wednesday, who do we have, Matthew?
Up next, we have Cody Harris from Star of the West, and we also have Doug Klein from Oppenheimer.
But before we get to them, we want to remind you the weather forecast brought to you by the folks at Nutrient Ag Solutions.
Nutrient Ag Solutions has the local expertise to recommend the corn, soybean, and other seed products that are the best fit for your field. Plus, unparalleled agronomic support with products and services to unlock yield potential and improve crop performance from planting to harvest. Ask about our financing options to help you get more from every acre and lead the field. Visit your local Nutrient Ag Solutions branch or go to nutrientagsolutions.com.
They say there's a secret to growing a great crop. At Nutrient Ag Solutions, they beg to differ. It all starts with a strong foundation, and when it comes to fertilizer, there's no question that Titan XE drives dry fertilizer performance. They've been unlocking the potential in every prill of dry fertilizer with biocatalyst technology for over a decade. Visit lpi.ag/Titan or contact your Nutrient Ag Solutions crop consultant to drive your crop's potential today. Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at the Michael Sarr Crop Insurance Agency. You know, Mother Nature, here we go. We're running ahead with a lot of our crops and hard telling what Mother Nature is going to do to us. Are we going to get some dry weather, prolonged dry weather? Is it going to stay wet or is it going to get wetter? Well, your guess, I guess, is as good as mine. Might be a very good idea to contact the folks at the Michael Sarr Crop Insurance Agency and check out that risk management plan that they offer. Remember, they are licensed to serve all of Michigan with both conventional and organic crop insurance. You can get a hold of their agents directly on their cell for questions or emergencies. Or you can call the office in Reese, 989-868-4722. The Michael Sarr Crop Insurance Agency. Joining us right now, Cody Harris over at Star of the West. Good morning, Cody. How you doing?
Good morning, guys. I'm doing well.
Well, can we say that about the markets?
Well, we got a little different change of pace here today. We actually got soybeans being a leader right now. At least old crop anyways, up a decent amount here today. While corn and wheat's definitely struggling here today. Corn actually made a little rally here in the last probably 20 or so minutes to get close to even, but it's still in the red. I guess kind of getting into the numbers here, Terry. We got cash wheat that's down 11 at the moment. 637 on the white, 547 on the red. New crop wheat, that's down 11 as well. 642 on the white, 562 on the red. Looking over at corn, cash corn, I'll call it down 2 at 360. New crop corn down 1 at 396. And looking over at soybeans, cash soybeans are up 12 at 1116, and new crop soybeans are up 3 at 1079.
So what's making these markets do what they're doing?
Well, the big news here in soybeans, I think this is kind of what's driving it, kind of reading some wires here today and talking to some guys. It seems that what's supporting is there was a report that roughly 2.5 to 2.7 million metric tons of soybeans are likely lost due to constant flooding in the Rio Grande do Sul area in southern Brazil. So all that flooding we've been talking about for the last month or so, they're starting to get some reports of maybe some damage, at least some loss to some of those areas down there, and that's really got that soybean complex excited. Meal is also kind of shooting through the roof here today, so that's really what's driving that. And I guess kind of opposite of that, wheat has been the driver, but the last couple of days really taking a hit, and that's more news. Wheat production in Australia. I think I got a report yesterday. Wheat production's forecast to increase by, I think, 12% this year. So that's kind of really taking a hit on wheat as far as numbers are concerned. I don't think anyone was expecting that big of an increase out of Australia, but that's definitely pressure in that market here today.
I guess I was kind of concerned because we hadn't heard much of anything out of Australia. And I guess that report kind of verifies the concern of some. We were hoping that it wouldn't be that good.
Oh yeah, it's kind of the hope we're coming into it, but the weather's been perfect down there, at least in Queensland, and I think northern and central New South Wales. That weather's been ideal. So I mean, overall planted winter crop acreage, I believe, is a historic high right now across all their winter crops. So that kind of definitely having an effect. And like I said, it's kind of the first report that we're seeing out of them, and definitely something to keep an eye on as we move forward.
And our wheat is about knee high, and it's coming out in head.
Oh yeah, wheat's looking, like I said, knock on wood. Everything I've gone through, at least in our Saginaw Valley region, it looks good. I mean, it looks almost as good as I can see, at least from the road, anyways. In a couple of the fields I've walked in, so like I said, knock on wood, we still got a little ways to go, but we're liking where everything's sitting at right now.
And I'm not hearing too much around here about the stripe, but I understand that in some parts of the state, they are running into some issues there.
Yeah, there's definitely some pockets. It seems like where there's some stripe rust at. I noticed a little bit, or I think some of our agronomists here at Star, I've noticed a couple little pockets of some small areas, kind of case by case, where there's a little bit of rust, but nothing too widespread at the moment. But it's definitely a concern and definitely something to watch out for as we kind of get closer to harvest here.
Yeah, we get another few days here. I'm going to have to find out from either you or Gary about Jim's forecast for when we're going to thrash to this wheat.
You can say that for Friday. I think Gary's got that number already ready.
All right. He knew I was going to ask. Cody, thanks a lot. You take care, all right?
I appreciate it.
All right. Cody Harris over at Star of the West. A little bit more in depth. Doug Klein has got it for us. Market report brought to you by Schaefer and Beerline Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Frankenmuth. If you're in the market for a new Ram professional truck or a Ram heavy-duty truck and you want to buy with confidence from a business-linked dealer that knows what customer satisfaction truly is, now is the time to go to Schaefer and Beerline in Frankenmuth, where family and service sells cars. And by Thumb Bank, serving the needs of agriculture since 1895. They stay up to date on industry trends and the trends that affect your operation. So it's always good to be in contact with the folks at Thumb Bank. Locations throughout the Thumb and the Great Lakes Bay region. Thumb Bank, where relationships are built on trust, equal opportunity lender, and member FDIC. Good morning, Doug.
Good morning.
What is going on today?
Guarantee.
Yeah.
So the job report came in pretty bad. So that guarantees interest rate reduction in September, 65% guarantee, if that's worth anything. So the stock market takes off. The QQQ NASDAQ hit an all-time high today. NVIDIA, of course, almost $2,000 a share now, but there's no sellers. So, if there's no sellers, you can price it on anything you want.
Yeah.
Unlike other commodities that tend to go up and people say, I think I'm going to sell because they have brains. It's not the way it is in the stock market.
No brains there? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, whatever. It is what it is. It's all AI.
Oh.
Whatever. So like I said, September is kind of a lock for a rate cut. We'll see what happens. So here's your numbers. July corn is 440.5, down 2. December corn 461, down a penny. July soybeans 1188.25, up 9.25. November soybeans 1157, up a penny. July wheat is 648.5, down 8 3/4. and December wheat is 696.5, down 9.25. Let's see. Over to crude oil, 73.44, up 19 cents. Heating oil is 229.35. That's up 3/4 of a penny. Gasoline, 234.45. That's down a half a penny. Natural gas, 275. That's up 16 cents. Currencies, Canadian dollar, U.S. dollar buys $1.37 Canadian. That's up 22 ticks. The dollar buys 156.11 yen. That's up 124 ticks. And again, that yen is getting cheap, even though they intervened on it. The euro's at 108.66, down 12 ticks. The dollar's at 104.34, up 23 ticks. Gold's at 23.49.60, up 24.10 an ounce. Silver's 29.55, up 6.5 cents. Platinum's at 1,360, up $7, and copper's at 458.80, up a nickel.
All righty. We'll talk to you again tomorrow, Doug.
Okay, will do.
Doug Klein over at Oppenheimer. Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at the Frankenmuth Credit Union. Yeah, they do have lines of credit for equipment loans, financing for purchasing land, credit cards, and more. How can they help you? We'll find out. They could be your hometown financial solution. Stop by any of their locations. They got over 30 of them. Or find out more by going to frankenmuthcu.org. Also brought to you today by the folks at the Rummel Agency. You know, they understand the risks that you face, Mr. Farmer, as a farmer and an agribusiness owner. That's why they know that every farm's needs vary, like the crops in the fields you have. You're more than a number. You have family, goals, dreams for your future. And the Rummel Agency understands how important those things are to you. That's why they want to get to know you one-on-one, so they can help with the right farm insurance protection for you and your family. See them today in Frankenmuth, Saginaw, and Carroll, the Rummel Agency. Coming up next, Matthew, who do we have?
Up next, we have Joe Kramer from the Michigan Bean Commission, and we also have Jerry Samulski from the Bay Landscaping and Garden Center in Essexville.
But first, this.
This year, make your farm produce the highest yield ever. Give your soil and your plants the boost of a 1-2 punch with liquids from Dairy Dew.
Stabilize your nitrogen with Humic Blaster, a great companion to UAN28, a great source of natural carbon. Humic Blaster allows your soil to hold nutrients and water at the root zone, saving it for crop consumption.
Protect your crops with Dairy Dew's Kelpful by adding it to any foliar application. Like vitamin C is good for our immune system, Kelp boosts the ability of plants to resist disease and other stressors. Fulvic acid makes fertilizers more effective, unlocking their full potential. Dairy Dew's Liquid Kelpful has both.
Liquid amendments can also have a free ride over your fields when you combine them with your herbicide or fungicide application. No extra fuel, compaction, or time and labor.
Take care of your crops to produce the best yield ever with help from Dairy Dew. Learn how Dairy Dew liquids can make a difference on your farm. Call a soil health expert at Morgan Composting today or visit dairydew.com.
Them plants come from healthy soil. Healthy soil comes from Dairy Dew.
Got to do a little cosmetic work around the front yard or the backyard. Maybe one of these storms goes through. You need to have some big time tree trimming or even removal. Legendary Tree Care can take care of it for you. Remember, there's no job too big or too small. They are fully licensed and insured, and they do specialize in big projects. LegendaryTreeCare.com is where you can go, or like them on Facebook. We say good morning to Joe Kramer, Executive Director of the Michigan Bean Commission. Long time no talk, Joe.
Yeah, Terry, how are you?
Hey, not too bad. You know, I was kind of surprised, but then not, when I took a look at that crop progress report and saw that practically every navy bean or dry bean in the state was put in last week.
I think what did the report say? We hit 13% or something over the weekend. And
yeah.
We had pretty good planting Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Guys are at it today, or else they're holding off, waiting to see what this storm brings. And I don't know. I think as a state, we've got spots that are 80% done. We got some places that haven't started, kind of all over the board. But some places are still a little damp, like around your house. I think the guys would like that to dry off a little bit more yet before they plant.
Yeah, no kidding. So at this stage of the game, what are we looking at as far as a market?
Well, markets are I would say undetermined. They're they're looking for some direction. We're watching Brazil's harvest. Argentina's getting close to harvest. We're trying to learn what we can about that. The drought in Mexico continues, so I think that has people on edge. And then most recently, we've continued. You probably have too, to watch all that wet weather moving through the Mindeq region, and guys out there talking about prevented plant on a fair amount of acres. So I'm thinking that they're in that 50% to 2/3 planted, but if there's a third that's not planted, that's a lot of acres. And if 10 or 15% of those go into prevent plant, all those things add up to be market movers. And if on the other hand, Mexico gets rain, Argentina and Brazil come off in good shape, Mindeq gets planted, we get planted, and we have an average yield, then we got plenty of beans to go around. So it's lacking direction because of Mother Nature right now, in my opinion.
I just got a funny feeling the way these weather patterns are shaping up. We could very easily have a bumper crop here in Michigan this year.
Things are off to a good start. The sugar beet guys are pretty happy. The corn guys are happy. The soybean guys are happy, and we're watching it close. We got our fingers crossed and feeling good about things at this point.
All righty, Joe. Always good to talk. We got a schedule for next week too. Okay.
We should. Thanks, Terry.
All righty. Joe Kramer with the Michigan Bean Commission. Let's find out what's going on in the front yard or the backyard. Jerry Samolsky, Bay Landscaping and Garden Center in Essexville, joining us right now. Jerry, what should we be aware of?
Terry, you guys were just talking about rain and how that area has more and this area has less. And, that happens too around in the garden. And watering is always the hardest question to answer. How much do I water? Well, everybody, if you walk through your garden, walk through your yard, you're going to find plants that are the indicator plants that show a little bit of wilt or a little bit of sagging of their leaves when they're drying up a little bit. Those are the plants that should lead you to start irrigating everything. So with all the different plants that we have out there, it's easier in a field of corn or soybeans when there's 1,000 acres or 500 acres or 50 acres. But, that's all one crop. But when we look at our landscapes, we've got numerous varieties and species of plants to deal with. So there's one typically in every yard that is the leading indicator. This summer, I encourage you to go look, find out who that is, and then pay attention to him and let that help you determine when you need to water.
Good advice. Tomorrow, plant of the week, right?
We have one.
All right. We'll be listening. Talk to you tomorrow.
All right, Terry.
All right. Jerry Samolsky, Bay Landscaping and Garden Center in Essexville. On the line with us right now, Matthew, we have...
Up next, we have Bill Webster from Nutrien Ag.
Bill, good morning. How are you?
Good, Terry. How are you?
Hey, not too bad. Got to be some questions out there. Some growers asking you, what's the latest?
Mostly bugs. It's been a great year for insects. We've had a lot of trouble with seed corn maggot in soybeans, grubs in corn, and black cutworm in corn.
Doesn't surprise me at all, given the mild winter.
Exactly. And the warm May, warmer than normal May.
So at this stage of the game, what kind of control should we be looking at here?
Well, the grubs, there's not much you can do at this point because that would have required an insecticide, soil insecticide at planting. Same with the seed corn maggot. If it's enough damage, you might have to replant some soybeans. Cutworm, you can spray something because they will be on the surface of the soil at night chewing, so you could get them yet.
So at this stage of the game, scout the fields.
Scout the fields and see whether you got to do any repair work replanting wise.
Yeah, because quite frankly, I think we've still got a little bit of time yet to do that, don't we?
Yes, we're in good shape. We're most of our crops are in the first time, and it's only the 5th of June, so we can still fix stuff.
Bill, thanks a lot. You take care. We'll talk to you again, all right?
Okay, thanks.
Bill Webster with Nutrien Ag. We'll be right back.
We could try to explain what it feels like to get your work done on a John Deere. The way a Z-Track mower finishes in half the time you thought it would. How easily soil gets moved with a 1 Series tractor. Or how it feels to tow up to 4,000 pounds behind a Gator XUV. But if you really want to know what it's like to run with us, you just have to get in the seat.
Contact one of Tri-County Equipment's locations in Auburn Hills, Bad Axe, Birch Run, Burton, Carroll, Fenton, Lapeer, Marlette, Reese, Saginaw, or Sandusky, or visit Tri-County Equipment online at tricountyequipment.com.
Experience the most reliable RTK signal from PC Ag Solutions, compatible with most GPS receivers. Trade in your old radio or modem and get an affordable subscription through us. We have over 25 base station locations across the Lower Peninsula, and we're always looking to add more to our network. Discover more power, more accuracy, and more coverage with our 450 megahertz signal. Call us to learn more today. PC Ag Solutions, 989-868-4444. Farm Service has been brought to you today by the folks at Freeland Bean and Grain, where serving you is their business, and they've been doing it since 1983. Certified Crop Advisor Vic Hupfer is available right now. Any questions you might have, he can help you out. Freeland Bean and Grain, they are serving you. Back at 12:30 with an update. Now we conclude our program with the playing of our national anthem, brought to you by Euclid Avenue Coins in Bay City at 602 North Euclid Avenue.
Broadcasting from the Stormmaster Exterior Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Dr. Marty's Nature's Blend Dog Food.
I'm Peter King at the Kennedy Space Center. The Starliner has its wings.
Let's put some fire in this rocket.
And liftoff of Starliner at Atlas V.
Years of delays and two scrubs, Boeing's entry